Welcome everybody to the Daryl and Buu show. I'm Buu and this is Daryl. Daryl, how's it going? How's your weekend?
Yeah, it's going good. Weekend was nice. I guess first kind of full on weekend where we're back down to somewhat of a lockdown. So just got some stuff done around the house again. Saturday night we did a Zoom card game with some friends, so it was interesting to get back into the old Zoom meetings on weekends with friends.
Right.
When we were doing this back in April and May, it seemed like every night there was some sort of Zoom call with friends, and it started to get a little bit, a little bit tiring to do. So we'll see if all that stuff kind of spins up again and everybody's kind of just communicating over Zoom. I guess it all depends on how long this is going to last, but it looks like we're in it for a while. Anyways, it was a nice weekend. Still got out and enjoyed some time outside. How about yourself?
Nice. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, we did a Zoom call with family last night, and I was thinking, like, by now we should have figured out like some sort of better way to play online, just fun games and whatnot. And there's some trivia games that we've done on Booze Hours previously before. But it'd be interesting if anybody has any suggestions for that, post them in the comments on anything fun that you've been able to figure out to do online and Zoom. I think, we're heading towards probably Christmas being like this, and at least for us, I have in-laws that don't live in the Fraser Health region, so they're not really permitted to and their region as well, the interior region, is not really permitted to leave their region unless essential. So we'll have to figure out something for fun to do for Christmas. So there's that. If anyone has suggestions for fun stuff to do over Zoom, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, did some mountain biking. Found a pocket of dry, or at least non-rain coming down. So we did go out mountain biking, and also started work on a desk for my wife for her. Now, I said this last week, and by starting work on a desk, I meant went out and had an excuse to buy more tools. So I bought some more tools, and then actually made a couple cuts yesterday. So yeah, probably some more tools that I need to buy. Are
you loyal to a tool brand, or we talked about this many times before on our show? I don't know what the opposite of a handyman is, but that's what I am. So I own as little tools as possible. But do you have a brand of tools that you like to stick with?
Well, for me, it's and I think for most people, it'll come down to battery compatibility. So all of my battery operated stuff is all Makita, because then I can just switch the batteries around, because the batteries aren't cheap for those things. They're like $100 for like a good size battery. So that's all Makita. And then I have a Bosch table saw and a Milwaukee miter saw. And then I bought a dust collector, which is, that's what really deterred me from doing much more woodworking before, is that the table saw would just create so much dust. I would hook up a shop vac to it, but it just still couldn't contain it. So I bought a dust collector with it has a big 4-inch hose to it. Or at least the inlet is 4-inch, and then you could potentially, in some people's home wood shops, they'll have ducting running across the wall, and then the tools coming off the wall with the duct hooked up to the tool, so that they can just leave it all stationary, turn on the dust collector, and then turn on the tool, do their cuts, and then everything's sucked up. Because otherwise, as people would otherwise also know, I have a home gym in my garage, and if I run the table saw, it's like an hour of cleaning up all the dust off of the home gym if I want to use that. So dust collection becomes a big problem in home wood shops. So that was one of the tools that I bought.
You'd have to build yourself a tool shop somewhere, or move to a bigger property so you can do that.
Maybe, or like a divider or something like that. Yeah.
Circling back to your other comment, though, around games, I will put a shout out for this. I think it's just a small independent app that that we're doing for the card games called playingcards.io.
Okay.
If anybody wants to try it, you can kind of pick multiple games. Seems relatively easy to set up and pretty user friendly. So give that a try.
Oops. Let's see here. IO. All right. Well, speaking of home gyms, we've got bring him on in a sec here. But Peter Scheffler just was in his home gym. How's it going, Peter?
Fresh off the bike, weren't you, Chef?
Yep. I was listening to your talk. Yeah, for sure. That's the beauty of being able to work out at home, but do miss going to the gym for sure.
Yeah.
We could, you know what, and not to get too sidetracked, but speaking of Peloton, and we've been doing this for the last few weeks here, is bringing up news article. Peloton is opening up a new flagship store on Robson Street, of course. That's a place I can picture a Peloton store being.
Yeah.
Right beside the Tesla store. So,
there
it is.
Pop down and pick up your Peloton while you're getting ready to grab your Tesla, which is, I'm sure some people will be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing here, and Peter, you just upgraded your bike as well, right?
Yeah, I bought the bike literally the moments before the Bike Plus went online, so I snuck in the 30-day return on it. So I don't want to sound too crazy that I had 2 Pelotons, but I did swap it out, and I've got the new one now, just as of I think last week is when it came in.
Nice. And so they're getting more into like the workouts off to the side of the bike, right? That was kind of the advantage of the new bike.
Yeah. I've done a lot of the other non-bike stuff because I've really been doing it for almost a year now. I think I started in January. Actually, almost 2 years. Sorry, January 2019 is when I started. And I've done a lot of non-bike workouts too. So they've got stretches, they've got weight programs and weight things. So when the lockdown started and I couldn't go to the gym, I ran a Canadian Tire and was able to get some padding for the garage and set a gym up there. Really didn't get very many weights, but I got a few kettlebells and we had some weights lying around the house, and it was enough to do that. And then they have like, 4-week strength workout kind of thing, and a core this and a stretch that. And so I was mixing those in, since I wasn't in hotels, being able to use the Pelotons and the Westons. That pretty much every Weston had Pelotons in them. And so then I finally broke down at the end of the summer and decided to buy one. And of course, that's the day that they announced the Bike Plus. But yeah, it's a great system, and I've actually, a lot of people have asked about it. So, if you don't mind working out at home, it's a good way to do it.
Got a few friends that have invested in Peloton bikes lately, and that's done well for Peloton stock. So last year was at $29, and this year at $105. If you were,
it actually hit 134 because that's where I bought it. But
I see you subscribe to my investing strategy, Chef.
Yeah.
I
had made some money in some internet stocks earlier in the year as people were working remotely and whatnot. And of course, I stuffed that all into a couple stocks, and they're starting to come back. But the Peloton one, I almost bought. I think I bought it at 128 or something, and it went to 134, and now it's wallowing around to 100 and 110 kind of thing. So not wallowing, it's still still a strong stock, but of course.
Yeah. So over 3 million members, up from 1.4 last June. So, yeah.
I do a ride quite often, and it's a guy was one of the first Peloton instructors, and he does a Saturday afternoon ride, and it's a lot of fun. He talks about what he did 2 weeks ago, I think it was. He said when he started it, there was 40 people on the class, and when I did it 2 weeks ago, there was 7,500 people doing it live at the same time.
Wow.
So, and he was, because I do shout out, so hey, congratulations hitting 100 or 1,000 or happy birthday or whatever, right? And he's like, I want to do shout outs to people. He said, but it's just getting too crazy. He said, I know I'm missing people, and I apologize, but
wow.
Yeah, hopefully the community that doesn't affect the community, because that's really, the bike is really good, but it's more, it's the system that they have. The instructors are really good, and that sort of helps you engage in it as well. And they're not too over the top. I mean, they are spin instructors, so they're pretty excited people, but they're not too over the top. So.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And just hopefully people are protecting their passwords in there somehow too. So, just to get a security term in here. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we bring it back to security over here, I'm wearing my B-Sides Vancouver hoodie, and you ordered one as well, Chef, I believe.
Yeah, I ordered when you posted. I ordered like within 10 minutes, but it says it's shipped. When was that? Like maybe this time last week? Maybe it was Monday, Tuesday last week. So cool. I suspect it'll be here soon. The shirt I'm wearing is actually from Linux Tips, so I figured that's a Vancouver tie-in today. So
yeah. Oh, hold on. Well, I did that wrong. I was trying to highlight you. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Let's see the shirt. You can pop yourself up a little bit.
That's pretty cool. It's a hard drive. So
yeah. Almost looks like vinyl, though. It almost looks like
it does have a vinyl feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the background is for my next B-Sides talk, which I actually was going to do at B-Sides Vancouver, but I'm doing B-Sides Philly next week, and I'm doing a talk on cryptanalytics and securing your keys, and so it's Merry Quantum of Scots is the title. So. That's why we've got sort of the tartan look and feel and the lock on it. So I thought that was a fitting. One of the girls in F5 marketing put that together, and she's hoping she doesn't get beaten by brand. But I said this is way too good to pass up. So
yeah, I like it. As a Scottish person, it's nice to see the tartans represented.
Exactly.
So what have you been keeping yourself busy with? Work-wise and otherwise, Peter?
Work-wise, well, we just came off of our sales conference, so that was a little bit of work for the security architects. We were moderating and helping out here and there. Probably less involved than we have in the past. There's fairly large dedicated teams now to put the stuff together. So I think it came off very well. So we supported that a little bit. But one of the things that I was saying to Buu was relevant, and actually is relevant to this talk, is really just in protecting people, in protecting your keys, your private keys. So I had a customer, a Fin Services customer, who had a security audit done, and one of the findings in the audit was that they did not have passwords on their private keys. So a private key is really just is literally like a lock and key. Like it is the secure component of it, and you want to hide that. You want to protect that. And so you can put it on a file system and secure it, or you can get a hardware security module like a FIPS box or a SafeNet box or something and store the keys there. This company didn't have that. They just literally had the files sitting on a drive, hoping it was going to be secure. That's not the best way to protect them because they are just files. You can read them with a text editor. So what I did work with them is I wrote a script that spun through all the keys, added a password to them, which enciphers the file on the drive. So the file's no longer a plain text. So you can open it with an editor, but what you're reading there isn't really the key. It's an encrypted version of the key. And you need to know the password, which isn't stored anywhere. It's like you have to remember it or write it down or put it on a sticky on your screen or something like that. Hopefully that's not what you're doing. But then so OpenSSL protects that file. So the talk that I'm sort of tied into this, this Merry Quantum of Scots conversation is protecting your keys is very important. Quantum security or quantum encryption and decryption, and that's going to be, something we need to think about. But there are problems we've got to solve today. And so it took me a couple of weeks to write it, and I literally integrated it with the big IP, where I pulled the keys off the big IP, encrypted them, whether you did it locally or you did it in the big IP, and encrypted them, used the REST API to update all the SSL client or server profiles that key happened to be using. Also put the key back on the big IP as an encrypted version. And then if you wanted to, it would remove the unenciphered version of that key off your machine. So that tied in really with the CVE that we had from August, where it was possible for someone to be able to get to your file system on the big IP unauthenticated. So you want to make sure that you're truly protecting things on the big IP. So this was sort of all kind of tied in together. So that kept me busy. It was a fun project.
Nice.
So
that was part of your 100 days of code.
Yes, it is part of my 100 days of code. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So that maybe you could talk a little bit about that. Like there's an effort or a movement around trying to code consistently for 100 days.
Yeah. So it's really a learning thing. So a lot of people who are just getting into coding are doing this. People are mentoring and whatever, but it's really just, you do something for 100 days, you're really going to learn it. So, when I got into the big IP API with this, sure, I know scripting and Bash shell and I know REST interfaces, all that kind of stuff, but maybe I had never played with the crypto API on the big IP. So spending 3 or 4 days, you really get the feel of what's inside of there. And the other thing too is, learning OpenSSL to make those calls, and there's other things that you get into, and just diving into a project gives you something tangible to target and sort of learn from. And that's the whole idea behind this 100 days of code, is just do something for 100 days. Like even the idea is to do it for an hour a day. You're not dedicating your 8 hours a day. This is do something for an hour a day for 100 days, and you will learn so much. And so this is a 100 days of code hashtag, and there's a lot of people following it. There's a bunch of tools that will retweet it. And so people are posting code, people are talking about their code, like, hey, I'm having a problem with this, or hey, I just wrote this JavaScript thing that, spins a bottle on the screen or whatever. And people are talking back and forth, and it's just sort of a community effort. And I like it, again, because mentoring is something I love to do. I really enjoy working with people that are learning as well as me learning. The 100 days of code, it wasn't that I came in and, sort of said, thou shalt do this. It was 100 days of code because I was learning to do new things. And I've actually taken up some other stuff too. So I've taken up some game development too. I've written a couple games over the last couple months. Just, I don't know, finding time to tinker and learn new stuff. So it's fun. So that keeps me going. And I haven't been tracking my 100 days, but I'm pretty sure I've blown the other side of 150 days of coding for probably straight now. So
wow.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's awesome. Me and Daryl will probably get ours started up here in the new year.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys can out guitar me, so everyone has their strengths.
Yeah.
Well, that maybe next subject.
Might have regressed a bit here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's less than 0?
Yeah. Well, Chef, you're from Toronto, so I wanted to get your opinion on. Oh, hold on. Where is it? That was a good one. Where did it go? I had here it is. The new NHL jerseys. Now, we had Ryan McGilgan on last week, who's a Edmonton Oilers fan. And I don't know if you have an opinion on the new jerseys for the Leafs.
I honestly, this is new. I hadn't seen them yet. I'm not sure what they look like. Is this like a real thing, or these are mock-ups, or?
These are real. No, it looks like it's in alphabetical order, so it's fine.
I don't. While you're scrolling there, I don't know if you've noticed, but F5 has got some cool animated Zoom backgrounds, and they have a Kraken one with the animated Kraken logo.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I like that. I like that logo in those jerseys. I think they're spot on.
They did a great job, and their launch was great. I certainly hope we can travel to Seattle soon, so I can go check out a game next year. So
yeah,
that's pretty retro.
I like those. I like those Leafs jerseys, actually.
That's kind of like late 70s, early 80s feel to it. I could see Rick Vive wearing that.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that, you know?
The Canucks, on the other hand, if you scroll down, maybe not quite as much of a winner.
That gradient kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sleeves on the Toronto one, actually. That's a cool line. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm not sold on the Vancouver one.
No, they're bad.
Yeah.
That's not surprising. We miss the mark on a regular basis with our jerseys for some reason.
Now, Ryan had words for the Calgary Flames, the horse with the flaming nostrils here. And then I guess somebody has pointed out that it's a ripoff of the Canucks here.
Yeah, it is. I thought it looked more Canuck than Flames.
Oh yeah! Wow. They did not take a lot. Someone was tasked with that job and kind of did it in the 11th hour. A new uniform out.
that might have been somebody sending an interim version, like, hey, why don't we take this and change this? But they forgot to change everything. They just put their logo on it and shipped it out.
That's hilarious. Although I don't know if that's exactly what the Canucks one looked like, because it looks like they just superimposed that logo over top of the Flames one, so maybe it's not quite that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another article that I found, and I think this is actually starting in Toronto as well, but a 3D virtual grocery store, which I think would be. I do my grocery shopping off of a list. Like, I've done it all this time, where I have a list of the things that our family goes through every week, and so before a shopping trip, I can just go through and check off the things that are missing from the list and can add it up. But my wife needs to see things and visualize things, and so this idea of a 3D virtual grocery store, I think, bridges the gap for people who, needed that visual thing. They don't want to head out to the store. Maybe they're elderly or something like that, and they need to stay home. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea to get people into that.
Like there's been, well, we could argue that there's been tens of thousands of years of designing stores. But the experience is a big part of it. So when I go grocery shopping, I mean, we use our voice assistant to just add things to a list. So we have a shopping list that we just always add to. So you pull the last slice of cheese out or something, and you just let her know that we need more cheese or something like that. So yeah, you have your regular stuff, but we've got to the point now where we just, we buy 2 or 3 things of cream and whatever. So when the outside fridge is empty of cream, we let it know that's what we need to order and put that on there. But I'm a big proponent of going shopping. It's my thing on Saturdays to do. I really do like it, to go grocery shopping. But there's a lot of things on the list that just happen because I'm there. It's not impulse buying. We do need it, but it's not something that's on the list because it's not something that ever boiled to the top, or you thought about it and you just never put it on the list or whatever. So that visual cue that you get when you're walking down the aisle, and the colors and the immersiveness of that I think it would really make a difference. Now, I think with a 3D environment, you could probably get a little crazy with the marketing and the animation that might happen in there, but I think it's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's well known that companies will pay to have their items displayed predominantly as opposed to other items within a store as well. So maybe we'll start seeing that. Whereas, I want to have a good spot in the virtual 3D grocery store, and so it becomes an opportunity. I don't know if that's the opportunity for the grocery store themselves or the facilitator of this 3D grocery store gets a cut of that, but
a little of both, I would imagine. I mean, you pay for end caps, right? Like if you want to be at the end of an aisle in Walmart, you're going to move your product, but you pay for it, and they stipulate the size of the box because I heard you talking about tools and stuff. So I don't know, pick it, DeWalt or Black & Decker wants to sell a bunch of skill saws at the for Christmas rush or something like that. they'll optimize the size of the end cap. We want 9 boxes across because we want to move that many, kind of thing. And the stores like Walmart will dictate that. And if you don't want to do 9 across, they'll find another company that will make boxes 9 across. Yeah.
Now we've got a live question here. Bill Kempthorne is looking for the Kraken animated background. Let's see if we can find that live on air here.
I'm trying to think of where I saw it. There was a link somewhere. I just saw it on Friday. Oh, it was in Drew's Twitter. That's where it was.
Okay.
Let me. I had Twitter open earlier and I tweeted something. Search Drew. There it is. Zoom backgrounds. F5 on F5's Twitter. Actually, there it is.
I am going to retweet this right now.
There it is, right there.
Where's the retweet?
There you go, Bill.
Bill's a long time Seattle Kraken fan. Has been for years.
There we go. Cool. That has been retweeted to my Twitter, which if folks aren't following it, twitter.com/Boolam right there. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Most welcome, Bill. All
Can't
right.
wait to get a high-speed train going down between Vancouver and Seattle at some point in the future. It'd be fun just to pop down there, watch a game, and come back the same night or the next day.
Yeah, that was I'm pretty pumped. And again, if we ever get to cross the border, looking promising though. Hopefully, I'm thinking this time next year people will be a little more comfortable in traveling.
Yeah. Cool to do like a F5 Vancouver users group in Seattle and bring some folks down or something.
Yeah.
We can sort something out for that. Very cool. All right. We've hit 9:30 or 12:30 Toronto time. So thanks a lot, Chef, for coming on this week.
Thanks, guys. It was a good chat.
Good luck with it, Chef. As always. And hopefully we'll see you live in person sometime soon.
Soon. Yes, for sure. You guys have a good week.
You too.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandbuu.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.